Hello YouTube, this is Pokemon Disigma with my first video. It is the deck list I played in Indie States with world-renowned Heretic and Mew. I ended up 4-4 for the day, not the most stellar, but this is a 1.5 deck. I can't expect much more. I'm going to start the list with 3 Darkrai EX into 2 Sableyes, into 2 Dragon Dino, and 2 Dark Dino. Sorry for the shaky, this is hard to do on my own sometimes. I have 3 Dragons, 1 Keldeo, 1 Shaman, 1 Victini. I'll explain a few of the choices in a minute. On to this trainer supporters. I have 4 Professor Juniper, the best supporter in the game. 3 Skyla, second best supporter in the game and very important in this deck. 2 Inns and 2 Biancas. Various reasons, In is great, but there's been times where In would have killed me more than helped me, and the Bianca saved me a few times. It's a nice little mix. If anything, I would probably top the 1 Corliss for another In, but again, with my deck, I tend to fill the bench up. It's a nice way to refresh. And to the trainers, I have 3 max potions. 3 is enough. I recycle enough that the 4th is dead draw most of the time. I end up ditching those most of the time for the 3 Ultra Balls, which are great. 4th is overkill in this deck. Into the 3 rare candies. The 4th would come in handy, but no room. It's just like I have 3 Dark Patches here. Again, a 4th would be nice, but space is an issue in this deck. I then have 3 Catchers. Again, space, but 3 is usually enough, plus I recycle items. If you need more than 3, half the time the game's over, or it's just a quick victory. My random tech is 2 Eviolites. This was in here to deal with not being turn 1 donked, as well as it gives my Darkrai a little more sustain, as well as usable on most of the Pokemon in the deck, versus Dark Claw, which would have been usable on 1. And I ended up needing Evolvite more than I thought I would. Into my A-Spec Dowsing Machine, Super Rod, 1 Tool Scrapper. A second one would have came in handy. I came in to cross 2 Garbodor variants, round 1 and round 5. Round 1, it was a close game. I do own a bit of an apology for the game. It was a long, long day. We'll leave it at that. Tool Scrapper, I wish I had 2, but I didn't find enough of them that it would have been a benefit. And 1 random receiver. 1 is enough in this deck. Then you have the basic energy line of 8 Darks into 4 Blends. Again, you need the Blends in this build if you ever need to attack with Darkrai or anyone. I'll explain a couple of the choices. Victini specifically to deal with Klinklank, which I fought none, but Victini did save my hide a couple times, dealing with a couple of things that were weak to fire. I just didn't really need it a lot, as much as I thought I would. But testing, I was fighting against Klinklank, and he won me the game. Shaman EX. Great revenge attacker, and it pretty much shuts Blastoids down if it gets ahead of me a little bit, because I one-shot everything in their deck. Well, they have to waste a lot of energy. I waste 2 and deal a fair amount of damage with me. Keldeo is the free switch, again needed, and that's it for the Pokemon techs. If I was to change anything in this list, I would probably have put in a few switches, as well as the end switch up. The 2 Dark Dinos might be too Dragon Dinos. It's just nice to have a Dino that you can open with and attack. They have the same hit points, same retreat cost. This one's resistant to Psychic, but weak to Fighting. This one's just weak to Dragon. This has no damaging ability. This has 2. Deep ground never hit for me once. If I had the room in the cards at that day, I would have built Laser Bang. But this deck has no room for lasers. It'd be amazing in it, but there's just no room. And that is Darkrai Hydreigon. As I said, the build went 4-4 very well. My first loss was my mistake, and I did to a misread card, and I do owe that player an apology for my sour mood after that. I understand, and I was okay with it after the judge, but it was my fault. The other losses I had that day was I lost to a very odd build of Lugia EX Landorus, and it used the Plasma Engine. I lost to another Landorus Garbodor build. Then I can't remember the other 2 losses, but my wins were against 2 Blastoise, or not Blastoise, that's 2 formats ago, 2 Blastoids decks, and 1 the really weird build. It was Zorok, which was interesting, but at some point I just pulled ahead and he could not catch up. Anyway, the tournament was not the best results, but congrats to top 4, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Please subscribe, and I will have many more videos for you. Thank you.